Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Window Shopping. It is the fun Southern California real estate show where we take you on a virtual tour of properties and tell you what we think about them, especially cool architectural properties. My name is Stephen Meade. I'm your host with Domicile real estate for people who love houses. So if you love houses, absolutely reach out to us if there's any way that we can help you buy or sell cool architectural properties. We love doing that. And today I'm answering a question that I think more people should be asking, and that is, why are there not more two-story post and beam mid-century modern homes? They're actually quite rare. They don't get built terribly often, at least not at reasonable price points and reasonable sizes. If there are two-story post and beam homes, they tend to be owned by rich people, and they're huge custom compounds. So why don't we see more of them? We have one this week that's actually a very cool house in a little bit of an unlikely place. So let's get started and welcome to 1328 West 15th Street in San Pedro, California. This is not our listing. It's listed by Beatrix Whipple of Avenue 8 Inc. This is kind of an interesting house for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is not a super expensive house. Now, it's not a cheap home either. It's $1.3 million, but this is not a super expensive house. There are still deals in San Pedro. It's still kind of a cool community. I think it has a lot of upward potential, especially if the commute works for you. 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and 2 partial baths. So it's actually a 3-bedroom, 4-bath house. We'll get to that in a second, what we think is going on. It was designed in 1964, which was really kind of a cool heyday for post and beam homes. Many of the Orange County Eichlers were built around or within a few years of 1964. And this is about 1,900 square feet. I say about 1,900 because it has had an addition, and we'll point that out in a second. So it's kind of a little bit of an estimate on that square footage. So obviously the first thing you see is what a striking front facade. You have this really cool sort of entrance up the front door, and you cannot miss these double height glass windows into the living room in front, and you have these super tall, thin columns. Really, this is the kind of architecture you just don't see in residential homes. Usually this might be the kind of design you would see in a bank or another commercial structure for the time period. The only thing I do not like on the front of this house that I find puzzling is this right here. It's this bedroom window that's over the garage. It really does not make a lot of sense. I think I would have to change this out pretty much immediately upon buying this house. I actually don't think I can live with it because this is such a beautiful front facade, and what it needs is something on this side that really ties it over to the left side of the house, and it doesn't have that. It needs that. And I think you would immediately make this home a showstopper if you could do that. So this is the back of the house. And you'll remember I mentioned that there's a bit of an addition. I don't know this 100% for sure, but I'm going to go ahead and guess here that this section is a bit of an addition. This is a split level home, meaning it's actually 3 different levels, an upstairs, a downstairs, and sort of a tween level that's halfway between the two. And you can see that here, lower level, upper level, and then this sort of mid main living level. And they have this actually outfitted as a bit of an office space. So it's a 3-bedroom plus an office space. This is a close-up of really just some beautiful work, like this front sort of entrance pergola along with the overhang. Extremely elegant design for, you know, a relatively modestly sized home at 1,900 square feet. We just don't see these kind of grand gestures in the size range. Here's another angle, again, pointing out how badly we need to change that window configuration. And let me get inside this home. This is that a little detail in this kind of covered walkway that leads you into the front door. Super cool design element. And really a cool front door too. I think this is a very fun way to enter a house. Okay, this is the living room, and I love so many things about this living room. The first, obviously, is those big windows, but the second is the way you look into this second space over here. You have some additional clear story windows. You've got beams exposed, and then you have this really, really cool kind of floating ledge up above. Again, this is a 15-foot high ceiling in here. So you've got a lot of extra room to really do something cool with it. This is another angle looking towards the back of the house after you walk in the front door. And this is looking back towards the front. One of the things that I've always personally loved is when you have varying ceiling heights. I think this gives your different rooms a different sense of scale. So your big communal areas can feel grand, but you can also make other portions, though, feel more intimate. A. Quincy Jones was an architect who did a lot of that. And that's what they've done here with this kind of floating ledge up above here. It lowers the ceiling height just slightly over the seating area and ties it into the fireplace. Really a cool design element. You really get a good view of this here. It gives a sense of dimensionality to these ceilings and beams and a sense of depth that just, it makes the high ceilings mean something. And if you go into modern homes, I'm going to go on a stupid little rant here. If you go into like contemporary new construction homes, they will frequently have a high ceiling living room, and it is completely pointless. It's just extra drywall up taller. This ceiling gives you a reason to have these high ceilings. It gives you that sense of depth and space. It's super cool. I love it. This again, looking back, where you get an additional view of the sky over this dining room area. This is looking back towards the front dining space. And then you kind of got this remodeled kitchen in here. Really kind of a cool design to the cabinets. I love that there were so many temptations to make this kitchen way too complicated. And while I don't love every choice in here, this is a relatively simple and elegant kitchen, and I think it's the right move in a house like this. By the way, we'll see if we can zoom in here on some of the little details. I'm going to go back a couple pictures because this is that addition space over here that you see where there's a computer set up and there's a little half bath over here. This is that added space that just gives you that fourth extra room. So functionally, I totally understand why it's here. I'm not so sure that it's the right, I think the functionality makes sense. Visually, I'm not in love with it, but I think I could make it work. This is this upper level going up the stairs. You've got a bedroom in the front. This is that window that you see from the front of the house. Again, I'm not the biggest fan, but you've got these beautiful tongue and groove ceilings and open beams in this house. This is the other front bedroom, another bedroom that you have on that upper level. Again, exposed beams, tongue and groove ceiling, lots of cool design elements in this house. Secondary full bath upstairs. And then this is that lower kind of rec room level that could be a home theater. It could be a play space for kids because it's not the space you see when you walk in the front door. And I love that about it. Fun little wet bar here. This access is right out to the pool. Another little half bath. I think this is that upstairs half bath. Outdoor kitchen on this little ledge outside the dining room that you see up here. And then this is this backyard space, which I really like a lot. It's got a wall here, but I'll tell you what's missing. And we're going to see it here in the next angle. Here. So you've got some cool views, but I also think you have a little bit of a lack of privacy in this backyard. And I think I might be a little bit more creative with the landscape. I also think you have a bit too much concrete. It feels like a concrete jungle. And I'm just not so sure how I feel about this. I think I'd want a little bit more greenery to kind of enclose off the space. I think that would make a big deal and a big difference in this house. And then here is the floor plan. So this is this upper level where you've got 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths. This is that main living level where you walk in with the foyer, the living room, kitchen, office space, dining room, and another half bath. And then you've got this family room space that is here down below with kind of a little bit of a wet bar. And I think there might be an extra half bath on this lower level off the garage that they're not showing on this exact chart. Anyhow, super cool house. I think it's hard to call $1.3 million affordable. But I think if you're looking for a moderately sized home, relatively close to the water, that just really is a design statement, I think that's hard to find in this price range. A very livable house near the water that is really a true statement of design and is not a disaster zone. I think it's a pretty cool place. If you are interested in this home on 15th Street in San Pedro, or any other architectural homes to buy or sell, absolutely reach out to us. We would love to work with you and represent your interests. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube, and we will see you again real soon.